Hey, and welcome to Against the Odds Lessons in Mental Toughness, where we understand that life's challenges only get harder, which is why we have to get stronger. Each week, we talk with extraordinary people to uncover how they use mental toughness to leverage obstacles into opportunities and how you can too. I'm Doron, the MT Doc Maman, a researcher, lecturer, and author on mental toughness, and like you, I'm here to learn and grow. Yalla, let's get to today's episode. Today I am hosting a very special guest and I'm honored to welcome Alexander Shub. Alexander is a 17-year-old professional Paralympic surfer. Yes, you heard me right. Some of his most recent achievements include, I'm going to go through a long list, so prepare yourselves. Second place in the 2022 Euro Championships. Third place in the 2023 Euro Championships. First place in the 2023 Professional Surfing Tour. First place in the 2023 Parasurfing England competition. First place in the 2024 Parasurfing England competition. Sixth place in the 2024 World Championships. Second place in the 2024 Euro Championships. And recently, coming back from Portugal, first place in the 2025 Parasurf League. And now competing, preparing for his next round in the World Championships. But beyond the list of unbelievable accolades, it is his story of how he came to be that will truly take your breath away. He is far more than his titles share, and in order to understand that, you have to understand what brought him here, which is why I'm excited and humbled and truly inspired to have the opportunity to bring Alexander into the studio today. So Alexander, welcome to Against the Odds, Lessons in Mental Toughness.
Yes, thank you, Doron, and thank you for having me.
All right, well, we've worked together quite a bit over the last few years, and whether it's mentally preparing, lectures that we've done together, a bunch of different things, which is super unbelievable. But the best part for me is every time we've lectured in Hebrew that people made fun of me, and today you got to talk in English, so I got to make fun of you. So we'll take advantage of that. Like I said, I think what happens is most people, they look at the list of accomplishments and they say, wow, like this is unbelievable. Even this morning, a woman was walking by while we were having coffee and she saw something. We'll talk about what she saw in a second. And she literally said, like, I have goosebumps right now. But beyond that, I think the story, the context of what brought you here, is, in my opinion, one of the greatest stories of mental toughness that I personally know from personal account. But I want people to understand that. So, you know, you weren't born with the gift of surfing. You didn't come out of your mother's tummy on a surfboard, right? What happened? How did this whole thing start for you?
Well, yeah, for sure, Doron. I mean, at the start, I was just an ordinary kid, doing ordinary kid stuff, playing video games, being with my friends, playing soccer. And in 5th grade, I was walking with my mom to school, and it was like a week before school ended. And I was going in the class with this careless teacher that was sitting in school, you know, with her legs up and hands playing on her phone. And these two kids were fighting. One kid grabbed the pencil of the other kid. He threw the other guy on the ground, and then the pencil flew straight into my eye. So
Wait, hold on. Which eye?
My left eye.
What does it mean? It went straight into your eye?
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy. It was like it was in slow motion. I was sitting in class, you know, just trying to study with all the notes and stuff. And when the kid fell on the ground, I went like whoosh with the pencil, and the pencil flew straight into my eye. So it penetrated my eye, stabbed me. Yeah, that hurt. Not so much though. Not like the next part. But yeah, my eye hurt, and I didn't think that much about it. I mean, I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I was stabbed in the eye with a pencil. I mean, I was 11, maybe. I was 11, yes. And yes, though, that was crazy. I mean...
So wait, hold on. Did you go home?
No, actually, I continued studying for like 2 hours. Or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, my mom took me from school and I went home. My eye hurt a bit, but I didn't think that much about it. Later at evening, I went to the regular doctor. He told me it's okay, just a regular scratch and all of the doctor stuff. And so my eyesight began becoming blurrier and blurrier as much time went past.
What does that mean, blurrier? Just to give context to the audience.
So I mean, mostly in my left eye.
Speak it right into the microphone.
Yes. So mostly in my left eye, I started to see everything blurrier and blurrier. So I mean, at the beginning, I didn't manage to read small letters in papers and such things. It just became more blurrier and blurrier until in about a month or 2 months I could hardly see. So I went to the hospital. I was hospitalized at first or something in the sort, and the doctors did a lot of checkups and had
How long?
a lot
How long was the
of,
hospitalization?
I mean, on and off, it was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years
Wow.
of on and off, and mostly checkups. Yeah, the doctors, and I think it's pretty ironic, the doctors didn't look me in the eye. Which I find that it's very hard to deal with systems more than the disability itself.
That's the number one place you need mental toughness, dealing with the system. It's not about the injury, it's the system. But I agree. Okay. So what did they tell you? What did the doctors tell you?
Yes, man, it was crazy. I was hospitalized, and the first part it was pretty shocking because I was hospitalized and there was this doctor. The doctor was okay. You're probably going blind and your eyesight is going to get worse and worse. At 11, I mean, at summer school of 5th grade, I mean, it was pretty shocking to imagine that you're going blind at this young age. I mean, before that, I was pretty healthy. I was studying, and everything felt like amazing. I mean, I was a young kid, but at least. And I think that most people could imagine that it was hard to hear that you're going blind at 11 years old.
And what did you think?
I mean, at first it was shocking. The first few days where I got my prognosis, it was pretty shocking. I mean, I was angry, but I decided to live with it, to live despite it. I began to say the doctors are wrong, that I am going to prove the doctors wrong. That was my point. The reason I woke up in the morning was to go through it and to use my disability for the good. I didn't, after a week, I didn't believe the doctors. I wanted to prove them wrong. I mean, I was hospitalized. It was hard.
Listen,
but,
hold on. I'm saying this as a person that just went through a brain tumor. To battle the position of a professional who is throughout their entire life committed their studies to something and come to a place and say, no, your prognosis won't be right. I'm going to take charge of that. Like, I usually don't ask my guests this, but A, you're probably the youngest guest, maybe the youngest guest that's ever sat in this actual studio, but do you appreciate the mental toughness that takes to be able to look a professional in the eye as a young kid, an 11-year-old at the time, 12 years old, and say, no, I'm going to prove you wrong? Like, do you understand that? Do you understand how crazy that is?
Yes, Doron, it's amazing. It took a lot of mental toughness and a lot of guts to say that. I mean, mostly with my family. I mean, my mom was obviously worried, but I tried to do my best to not worry people and to do the best as I can, because I understood as a kid, after like a week or so, I understood that I have to do my part on the things that I could control. And if it was that if I'm going blind, I couldn't control it, so why fear it?
So one of the things that we've talked about a lot in the past, whether it's in lectures and personally and in general, and I think this is a core component of mental toughness, it's controlling the controllables. Taking the only thing that's in your control, which is how you decide to deal with it, right? Everyone thinks that they control what their health will be, how much money they'll have, who they'll marry, and you learn as life progresses that all of a sudden a pencil can fly in your eye, you can get a brain tumor or a million other different things, and you have to know how to control yourself within the scenario. So you got to the position that you say, okay, I understand that I'm going to prove them wrong. So how did you prove them wrong?
Well, just as I went out of the hospital after this very long time, I asked myself, what can I do to be back in the game? So what can I do to prove them wrong? And what can I do to be in a different place in my life? That was when I decided to go surfing. I mean, before I went out of the hospital and out of the checkups.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I have to understand. Have you surfed before?
No, if you discount in 3rd grade.
Not if you discount the internet. I'm not talking about surfing the internet. Have you surfed? Like, did you know how to surf?
No, I didn't know how to surf much. And I mean, the reason why I started surfing, it wasn't because like I desired it much, but it was mostly because in the hospital, they said to me like, it's going to be hard to go in the sun, you won't be able to go in the sea because the water is salty and it's going to burn your eyes and all of the crazy stuff.
So if I say this more directly, this was your way of saying, okay, thank you for your prognosis, fuck you, I'm going surfing.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Doron.
I'm sorry for swearing, but I think it's worthy of that. I mean, okay, so hold on. So you go into the water, You haven't surfed before. What happens next?
So yeah, I
Like,
was
how
a
do you
little kid, but
how do you surf in that regards?
but I think the first time I went surfing, it was just me. I rented a board in Herzliya, and I went out surfing. Most of the things I remember is that I had a lot of wipeouts. I mean, it's unlikely I even caught one wave, but I mean, it was very fun. And when I was in the water and when I went out of the water, I didn't think about my disability and all of the prognosis. I mean, at that time, I thought I was going blind. But it did me well. I mean, I enjoyed it, and it silenced the voices a bit. It did me well because I didn't think about all the crazy stuff, and I thought about just surfing, being in the ocean and surfing. I mean, doing my best.
And I've known you for many years. I'm saying this. I don't know if I've told you this face to face. Like, I'm saying this with goosebumps. I've known you for many, many years. We've worked for close to maybe 10 years now. Nachon? More or less.
Yes, wow, Doron. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, no,
You've been a major cheerleader
forget it.
for
No, I'm
all
not
over my life.
I'm not important right now. But I've known you for 10 years, and I've told you how unbelievably inspired I am. But I think this might be one of the first times that I'm truly internalizing that experience. Just leaving the hospital and going surfing, and you're even saying it's not like, again, it's not that I discovered I was great. It's wipeouts after wipeouts, and you've told me about the wipeouts in Portugal and facing waves higher than the ceiling of this roof, and what, like all of a sudden what happened? There was this click of, you have a gift, you don't have a gift, and the gift meets the talent. Like, what happened?
Yes, man. I mean, I'm not talented. A lot of people think that I am, but I'm not talented.
No, hold on. No, I don't know. No, I don't agree with you. You're talented.
When I started surfing, I could hardly surf. When I went out of the hospital, I mean, I was hospitalized a couple days before that. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, what made me the happiest is that when I went out of the ocean, my mom was waiting for me. I mostly try to do good to me and to the people around me. I mean, that was why I started surfing. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I mean, I had a lot of like people, and it's hard to say, but not believing in me and saying, whether it was the doctors or other people, I wanted to prove everybody wrong. It was amazing. I wanted to do something that's gonna prove everyone wrong, and that I was right, and that I can do something with my life despite the disability and everything else.
Okay, so how did that bring you to competing? Because going to surf, and you've seen me surf, I'm not bad, I'm terrible, right? I literally invented a new move. Nachon, we were in the water, and you're like, Doron, try,
paddling.
right? And I go reverse, and I start swimming backwards. And you're, Doron, what the fuck what are you doing? No, I gotta go backwards. So turn around, you the fook. What's wrong with you? Okay, so I know how hard it is, at least from my perspective, to surf. But at some point, you discovered that A, I agree, you're a hard worker, but B, you're also talented, and all of a sudden you're invited to compete, or you're going to these competitions. What was that jump like?
Well, yeah, I mean, after I started surfing
and if you and please also share where you've surfed. Not we've already said all the accomplishments, but share where you've surfed as well, because I think that just makes it
well,
so much
yes,
greater.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I had a lot of tours going and representing Israel. I was in Spain, Portugal, Wales, Hawaii, the US, Hawaii, and I mean, it was amazing.
And El Salvador this coming year.
Yes, El Salvador,
the World Championships
coming here in November.
That's crazy.
Which is amazing. I mean, I am also preparing for the 2028 hopefully Olympics.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
I love you, man.
Oh, I want to be there. Okay, so hold on. So we can keep talking about the surfing and the wipeouts and that, but I think one of the interesting parts of your narrative that keep coming again and again is this idea of, I wanted to prove them wrong. Now, one of the things that I talk about in my research is what drives people to be mentally tough, right? We've talked about that a lot, you and I. And obviously, just like 99.9% of the people in this country, October 7th changed that, right? October 7th all of a sudden shifted your focus from proving people wrong to a different platform. And I want you to take me to your place in October 7th, right? Where was it? What occurred? And what ensued following that?
Well, yes, Doron. I mean, it was amazing. At start, I just surfed for the experience because it did me well, because I enjoyed it. I mean, I was competing, but also going to Disneyland. And October 7th changed it a lot, because after the horrible things that happened, which was unimaginable, everybody contributed, everybody all across the country. People were called out for reserves. So I asked myself, what can I do to contribute? I felt that I have to do my part.
Well, again, I'm saying this because you don't appreciate this. Do you understand that at the time you were 15?
Yes, I was 15 at the
15-year-old is sitting and saying, hold on, what can I do? Like that one day, I don't know how many years in the future, you'll look back at this podcast and it'll blow your mind, and you'll tell yourself, I can't believe at 15 I was already thinking, how can I contribute? I'm sorry that I stopped your story. I just had to say that. Okay, so you're saying, how can I contribute? So where did that put you?
Yes, well, that's amazing. I mean, I decided to do a project because I wanted to contribute. I mean, I wish at 15 I was like a soldier or something. I mean, right now I'm in a procedure to volunteer in the army and stuff. But at this time, I did a project which I took a large flag to bases in the south. This flag was signed by hundreds of soldiers before entering Gaza. And I want to show you guys the flag.
Yeah, for those who are just listening, then I highly recommend it. Take the opportunity to see the video version, because I don't think you've ever seen something like this. Hold on, we're gonna figure out here. Pass it to me. I'll open it for us.
Yeah,
So we're gonna put it in front of the flag. This flag is about 2 meters by a meter long, and it is signed by hundreds. Hold on, there we go. All over the right here. There you go, just like that. Hundreds and hundreds of soldiers, and they're writing names of people who were killed on October 7th, and the names of their units, and wishing Alexander good luck. And there's literally no space, no white space at least, that on this flag that isn't signed by people. You and I have actually shown this flag in the past to we've shown this flag in the past to some of the leading generals of the IDF, and one of them even looked at us straight in the eye and said, this has to be up in a museum. Like this is a piece of Israeli history, right? Too many things to say about this, but okay, so you collected all these signatures, and what'd you do from there?
Yes, Doron, it's amazing. I mean, I think it's our role to make history. I mean, the flag is just an example, but the story of the soldiers who signed it is much greater, I believe.
And some of them were even killed, from what we figured out afterwards.
Yes, some of them after they signed the flag, I went out like a week after to the World Championships in California. When I was on the plane, I heard that some of the flags who signed this, some of the soldiers who signed the flag, unfortunately died in Gaza.
So where did that put you? You know, all of a sudden you're surfing, and look, I have no doubt that every time you see the doctors, it kind of feels like, but all of a sudden it's not about that anymore. All of a sudden you're surfing from a different purpose, right? So you come to the World Championships with this flag, and you know, I think one of the interesting things that a lot of people don't recall is following October 7th, that a lot of animosity, a lot of anger from the world, you know, there was first sympathy, that people came and they said, wow, Israel, we've got your back. And within a week and a half, 2 weeks tops, you know, people in universities are protesting, and like Jews all over the world are fearing for their lives. And you're going into the World Championships with a flag signed by hundreds and hundreds of soldiers. So what was that like? What happened there?
Yeah, Doron, it was crazy. I mean, when I got the flag, I understood that the story wasn't about me anymore. I wanted to represent the flag more than and the country more than I wanted to represent myself. I mean, I think I had the spine to do the right thing. I didn't care about everybody else. I mean, I was working with the flag in protests and in many streets. I mean, representing, being with the flag. And I mean, I showed the flag to everybody. I mean, I did experience a lot of pro-Palestinians and all of the other stuff, but I wasn't scared. I was never scared about all that stuff. Because I think my mission was more important than all of the other stuff and all of the other noises. I didn't care that much about the competition more than I cared showing the flag and representing it, because I felt that I had a responsibility to do the right thing, despite all the other noises, whether it was the competition or all the other horrible noise that was over there. I carried the flag much more, and hearing that some of the soldiers who signed it died gave it much higher meaning. I mean, I was competing and being on the beach, mostly to show the pictures to the families of the soldiers who were killed.
Okay, I'm going to bring this back to my research world for a second. One of the things that I discovered in my research during my thesis was that mental toughness, the number one value that drives people to be mentally tough is achievement, right? You want to be the best, you want to show everyone that you can, you want to display your ability to the world. That's a very understandable driver for people who are performing in any competition. But in my opinion, maybe the most impactful finding that I had was that there's an element of benevolence, service, right? Acting for the betterment of your in-group. And I know it's almost absurd to say, but it all of a sudden feels that, you went through extremely, and I'm going to curse again because I just think it's worthy of it. You went through an extremely fucked up scenario. You were driven to achieve and show everyone you're capable. But as a function of this crazy event that occurred to you and to the country and so forth, all of a sudden you had a chance to leverage your platform to serve the greater good, right? As a 15-year-old, to go onto stages and we've seen the videos, and you come to my course here in Reichman and we show the video of even being televised with the flag. And you've taken this flag not just to that World Championship, you've taken it to Portugal, you've taken it to God knows how many countries already, and probably many more. And all of a sudden, this place of being driven from the place of, like you said, how can I contribute? I mean, it just changes everything. I think it brings you far beyond the competition. What happens to people who are just driven by the value of achievement is they're solely focused on the competition. The competition is over, and that's it. For you, that's not the case, right? The competition ends, and then what? Like, where do you find yourself in between competitions now as a function of being driven by this flag?
Well, yeah, Doron, I am driven by service. I was driven by service a much long time ago. I wasn't driven from a sense of experience. I was driven from a place of service. Even now in Israel, my story isn't over in the 20 minutes of the competition. I think surfing is a tool to do good in the world, and I think it's a way to do good to myself. For me, it's therapy. I mean, it's somewhat of an holy place for me, surfing. I appreciate it a lot because of all the things surfing has done for me in my personal life and all of the opportunities that it gave for me. I mean, even now I'm going lecturing in universities, in schools. I'm lecturing to everyone. I mean, I just got back to the same base. The soldiers signed the flag in a couple months ago. I showed them the flags.
How was that?
That was amazing. I mean, meeting the same soldiers who signed the flags, whose friend died, who signed the flag as well, showing the flag to the soldiers who serve with the same soldiers who signed the flag was amazing.
And you've also opened your project with helping people that were removed from their communities following October 7th, a surf project for youth. I'm going to list the things that you didn't say that I know you do. You brought it to kindergartens, school demonstrations. You've brought it to teacher conferences. You've brought it to protests, lectures in Israel, overseas, competitions, podiums, and all of a sudden that place where Alexander, with this unbelievable resume of achievements, plus this I'm doing it for the greater good. Again, this is my overly optimistic approach to these things. I think it makes surfing that much bigger, that much more holy, and I don't think many people in this world are gifted with the opportunity to take an individual sport, surfing, right? It's only you on the board, to take an individual sport and leverage it for the greater good, which is unbelievable, especially considering that you're not even 18 yet.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. I think if you're only competing, you're not doing that much. If you're not still driven from place of service after the competition ends. I mean, whether it's going surf groups and coaching people, trying to help them in the personal life as much as surfing done for me. I mean, if there's a way I can do good with the things I do, I try to do it. I don't do it for personal gain or something of the sort. I mean, I try to do this in a place of service. I mean, I mean, I love my country, I love my flag, and this is why I do what I do.
So what's next?
I mean, I think that I'm gonna go far, and I want to do more good in the world. I mean, every morning I wake up and I feel that I need to do something more. I feel that I need to be greater, not just for me, but for the people around me. I have to do more. That's why I'm in the radio. I mean, my English is pretty horrific. I mean, I just learned English from Netflix.
I'm gonna make so much fun of you after this.
Well, yeah, fuck you, Doron. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not gonna mention your Hebrew.
Yeah, my Hebrew is bad enough. It's okay.
No, but it's amazing. I mean, thank you for having me, Doron.
Hold on, wait, we're not done. No,
being
wait, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Hold on. One more question before I get to my bunker questions. I have questions that I ask all of my guests, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Sure, man.
One more question. For a person right now that finds himself in a position that they're receiving prognosis that aren't in their favor, you know, I've told you this many times, but while I was in the hospital bed, preparing for brain surgery and post-brain surgery, you were actually competing in the World Championships in California, and I would call you time and time again and met, like, because I know your story, because I know the story of this flag and what you represent and what you strive to represent, like, I can cry about it literally to that point. It gave me so much power and so much strength and so much belief that, you know, I would tell you time and time again in the hospital, I'd say, I'm going to get out of this and we're going to go surfing, which we haven't done yet. We have to do it still. But I tell you, I'm going to get out of this and we're going to go surfing. And you and your story was a major source of inspiration. So my last question before my last series of questions is, for that person that finds themselves in a position where everything seems to be against them, whether it's a medical condition, a personal endeavor, a professional project that they're taking upon themselves, something that they're looking at and they're saying, I don't have the chance, ability, or skill set to overcome this. Everyone's saying I can't. What would you, Alexander, now, not Alexander of, you know, post everything that happened, Alexander here today in the position that we're sitting at today, what would you tell them? What do you want to tell them?
Well, I say that if people disbelieve you or try to be against you, just try to do your best to prove them wrong and do the ironic thing. I mean, if doctors are saying that you can't walk yesterday, try and climb a mountain. Maybe you won't climb the mountain, but at least you'll walk. It's amazing. I mean, I think we're alive and it's great. We think we'll use it. I mean, everybody should be grateful that they're waking up in the morning. I mean, don't care from what country you are or where you're from. We're all human beings, and we all should do our part to do good in the world.
I think you said something that I've never put it in that context before that I really like and I'm going to take. But it's, what would you do? Do the ironic thing. Do the thing that they say, no, that doesn't make sense. And I think you're a walking surfing testimony to that. It's, he might go blind. Fuck it, I'm going surfing. So, with that said, there are a series of questions that I ask all of my guests. These are the final questions that I have, and all of my guests have these questions. Most importantly, I want to see how it is, how mental toughness is applied, and it comes through not only your story but in your personal world. So, so let's start. In respect to your personal world, I want you to define mental toughness in one sentence. These are hard questions, and I didn't tell you them beforehand, so I'm preparing you now. Here's the hard questions. Define mental toughness in one sentence, not academically, not from our discussions, from what you feel.
Wow, that is a good question, Doron. I mean, I think I'll define it as somewhat of an inspiration for believing in yourself and doing everything that you can and doing your part. So that's why I'm saying inspiration.
I always tell my students, theory without action is meaningless, right? So I want you to give our audience one action item, one golden piece of advice for the listeners that they can act on from your world in order to build their mental toughness.
I think the start of mental toughness is asking why do we need mental toughness? I mean, I needed mental toughness to, despite everything, try to build something for myself. I think everybody needs mental toughness in their life.
So what should they do? Give them an action item, something they can do. They wake up in the morning, and what can they do to be more mentally tough like you?
Everybody are dealing with something. I mean, I think it depends on the exact person, but I think they should try to improve, even if it's 1% every day. They should just try and not hate themselves or being harsh on themselves, but rather trying to improve and trying to do their best, having the spine to do the right thing.
So you know this, but I define mental toughness based on three things. Number one, it's values that drive your behavior. Number two is accepting that there will be endless challenges. And number three, it's having an unshakable self-confidence. So before we wrap things up, I want to finish with the last three questions. First of all, what value drives you when times are tough?
I think the value that drives me most is the value of service. And not just in a place of serving my country, but rather in my personal life. I want to serve myself well. I want to do good. I want to. You only live once, and I'm not saying this from a place of experience. I'm saying this in a place of service. I want to take my life and try to do the best as I can with it. Try to use what I have.
How do you stop pain from turning into suffering?
I mean, what I'm doing and what I did in the hospital was saying, fuck it. Despite everything, I want to try and do good. And I think the start of not transferring pain to suffering is understanding that pain is inevitable. Everybody experiences pain. And what matters most is how you deal with it, how you accept it. Acceptance is a very important part, because when you accept that you are going to experience pain, it is going to get hurt, that's how you deal with it the best.
Last question. What practice has been most effective in building your self-confidence? What do you do that has helped you most in order to be confident in the water, in life, protests, and anything you do and go through?
I mean, I always ask myself, why do I do what I do? And what's the worst that can do? I mean, I'm over here in the university's podcast. I haven't done this ever before. And I mean, my English, I mean, the thing that I was mostly worried about it was my English. But no, you wake up in the morning and you say, fuck it, I have the opportunity and I try to do my best. And that's it. That's what I can do. My best is the best.
Any final message before we wrap things up?
No, not much, but I love you guys. I love you, Doron. Thank you for everything. We really should go surfing.
We will.
And try to ask yourself, why do you do what you do? What's your motivation, and what's the value that drives you?
Alexander, I want to thank you for. I'm not saying this time. I can see it on my arms for a goosebump like episode. I really think, and I'm not just saying this because of the story of the flag. I'm not just saying because of what you went through. I think your story is a testimony to mental toughness. I think what you went through, and more importantly, where you're going and how you are leveraging it. That's the magic word that I keep telling my students time and time again. The most successful people are the people who will know how to leverage their pain and to use it as a platform to get to a higher level of performance. You're doing it. I'm beyond excited to see the trajectory that you're going to go through, where it's going to bring you in the future, what you're going to do. I know it almost sounds ridiculous to say. I'm almost not even excited for your competitions, because I know that I know deep in my heart, because of our long friendship and work together, that because you're driven from service, you are really going to go far. So on one hand, you're the youngest person that's ever been, at least on this podcast. On the other hand, and simultaneously, I think where you will be in 5, 10, 15 years from now is even unimaginable. So I want to thank you for being on the podcast today.
Wow, thank you, Doron. It's amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
If you're interested in finding more ways to build your mental toughness, go to www.themtdoc.com, where you will find links to connect via LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and join the private WhatsApp group where you can get weekly messages of how to build your mental toughness, or just reach out to me personally via doron@themtdoc.com. And with that, I want to remind you, the game will only get harder, which is why we have to get stronger. So until next time, learn, apply, and keep building your mental toughness. I'll see you in the next episode.